What's up everyone, Darcblade here with a little bit of a special Monster Hunter video ranking all the monsters in the game. This is to celebrate reaching 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, so a big thank you to everyone who has supported the channel over the years. Now, this tier list has been requested by you guys over the course of various videos and the streams, so I've managed to grab mischyf.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And together we're going to put the monsters into various tier categories. Now remember, these are personal opinions, and when it comes to this sort of thing, to be honest, any opinion is really valid. We're going to rate the monsters on different categories, for example, how fun they are to fight, their actual design, their charm and charisma. Is that the right word to put it? Mm-hmm. Sort of like their cuteness or their silliness factor as well. So let's jump straight into this video. Anyway, so first of all is Great Jackrass. Where would you put the Great Jackrass on this list?
I would put him under C for cute.
C for cute. Well, and why would you put him there? I mean, I kind of agree, but...
Because he's kind of cute.
He is kind of cute, and that.
The fight is kind of cute. It's the introductionary fight. It's the tutorial fight. It's where you learn how to be a hunter. He does a cute roly-poly, and he does a little spit up.
Yeah, when he kind of puts on the pound, shall we say.
Yeah. Yeah. If you look really closely at him, someone's put a lot of love into the details and textures in his skin, and I really kind of adore that he is so lizardy.
Yeah, there are actually some lizards that actually do look like it in real life as well. So, no, C's a good option. I don't think he's much of a challenge in terms of the fight, but his design properties kind of push him up. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is Mhw.
C for cute again.
C for cute. Ahead of Great Jackrass though.
You know what? I like Jackrass better.
Okay.
But you don't, so you've moved him.
I was going to say, for me...
You are the expert.
For me, Mhw has a little bit more of a unique design, and I think he's a bit more of a challenge than Jackrass. That's why he's ahead.
He does a blip.
He does a blip. And he also does the blip out of his tail as well.
Oh god. I have forgotten about that.
I remember a lot of people being almost freaked out by Mhw's tongue maneuvers, if you remember when the game first came out.
Yeah, it was definitely a boah.
Yeah.
What's that? And I must confess that the colorings in his tempered version, yeah. I do really like the colouring in the tempered version.
I will also say as well, before we move on to the next monster, the Mhw that was featured in the Witcher collaboration event added added so much more personality to the monster, if you remember.
Yeah, I do remember. I didn't save him.
You didn't save him?
No, I never got around to it.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I kept asking him to come back and help me, and he never did.
No, it's a what did you say?
I said bad times.
Bad times. Oh.
Anyway, stop touching him.
Anyway, moving on to the next monster, which is Toby Kadachi.
B for badass.
B for badass. This is one of your favourite monsters, I believe.
He looks so cool, and he is so cool. The only thing that lets me down about him is the fight. He is not very special to fight.
You don't.
I don't. He's a little bland in his moves and maneuvers. Yeah. I do like the fact that he climbs up on the tree and then he does a spin off of it, and that did catch me out a lot when I was very new. Yeah. But. Yeah, no, he's not. He just doesn't make it.
Middle of the pack. Yeah, no, I agree in that. In some respect, I love the monster's design. The sort of like fox crossed with a snake, crossed with a squirrel. I don't know. It's kind of it's a beautiful looking monster. And with Iceborne, the updated graphics when it becomes Super Saiyan, when he charges up, really do add a little spark to the monster.
Yeah, that's true. I did like that.
Yeah, but no, fight-wise and that...
it just lets you down a little.
Yeah, I did hear that some people did struggle the first time they come across Toby Kadachi.
Oh yeah, because the spin, you lose sight of him, don't you? Especially if they didn't know how to focus in.
It's also probably the first monster that really makes use of the environment against the hunter.
Yeah, and his tail is surprisingly big. Slaps you hard.
Okay, next monster, everyone's egg-eating bird.
D for dumb.
D for dumb. Aw, poor Kurayaku.
D for dumb. He's dumb, his beak is dumb, and his pecking is dumb. That he actually managed to kill me once, just pecking me, and I've never gotten over it.
I mean, I kind of agree. I would rank him lower than Puke and Jackrass, for example. I don't think he's that difficult to fight at all. The only thing that, for me, that he's got going for him is his goofy kind of nature. Like when he's carrying an egg and you startle him.
That's because he's dumb. Although, no, he's not very bright.
What about the Kuroyaku that had the Final Fantasy crystal, if you remember that?
Oh, he was especially dumb.
I think he caught a lot of people out.
Yeah, well, he was
overpowered.
He was on steroids, but he was dumb.
Okay, next monster. Continue with the Wildspire Waste.
And I'm a little bit torn about this one.
Oh, Baroth.
I think I would put Baroth under B for bro.
B for bro.
He's a bro. He's boring as heck to look at, but the fight is just... there's something really satisfying about it. To me, it feels like the music. The music makes that fight.
Oh, but that's the Wildspire Waste music. It's not specific to him.
Isn't it? I remember it from the start. It was like, oh, wow, the music.
Yeah. It's Baroth, I would say, is the quintessential bull fight.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he moves, he's always going to the charge.
B for bull.
B for bull. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
But the whole mud factor as well in that is when he rolls around in the mud, it looks like a...
That was one of the first times you had a fight that the element kind of changed on you a little.
That is true. Because I think he is the first monster you come across where the elements you use against him switch depending on what he's...
Yeah, if he's covered in mud or not.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he's a classic monster. He's been around for ages in that. Whilst the others in that were all sort of introduced with World, Baroth was like one of the first comeback ones. Anyway, let's move on to the fish. Gyrotodos.
D for dumb.
You would put him in the D category.
D for dumb. He looks like a slug. He fights like a rock. And he's about as interesting as a mud cake.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, for me in that, he may be in the C category, but I can understand him being in the D category as well. Would he be ahead of Kuroyaku there?
No.
You really don't like him?
No.
Well, I mean, yes, I agree. He is a little bit dull to fight. He doesn't really do anything special, and I think he's also.
It. It's not D for dumb. He is D for dull.
Dull.
D
okay.
For dull. There you go.
I think he's underused. He shows up in one location, that one area in Wildspire Waste, so definitely underused. I remember when he first came out, some people got a little bit freaked out by him. This mudfish kind of thing.
They're getting freaked out a lot. These people.
No, it was like Gyrotodos, Puke were two sort of like they had. I don't know, a disgusting factor about them, a creepy factor. Yeah, an ick factor.
Ew.
That, so it was him crawling around in the mud. Puke was giant tail. But anyway, Gyrotodos is a bit dull to fight, bring water resistance, and he's really susceptible to being knocked out. So
I think, I don't. This is not a how-to. This is a ranking.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here till tomorrow. There's a lot of monsters.
Okay, next monster.
Oh, this one.
Andy
Boy.
Andy Naff.
Andy Boy. Andy is under A for Anjanath. Anjanath is awesome. That boy is 18.
18. Yeah, no, I would agree. I would say he is probably the tier 1 flagship monster for this game.
I died to him so much when I was a noob.
It was a fair bit of a challenge, but he was a nice addition to the game. The furry T-Rex.
Yes.
Yeah. So in terms of his design, even though it is a T-Rex and it kind of could be seen as basic, the fact that he has the nose fin. What is it? Is it called nose fin?
Something of the sort.
As well as obviously its dorsal fins and the furry factor, and that kind of set it apart from normal T-Rexes. Plus the fire breathing. Yeah,
I was going to say, I like the fact that he was on fire. There's fire.
Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is another classic, which is Wrathion.
Wrathion is... Oh, goodness gracious. Wrathion is... C for credible.
C for credible.
Yeah.
Okay.
incredible.
It's
a credible fight.
I might actually override you. How I'm going to put him up to B. Her.
What, B for what?
B for ballsy? No.
It's a girl though.
No, but she is a monster that kind of... She's been around from the start, and she is a good example of a monster that teaches you to go from tier 1 monsters to sort of tier 2 monsters. It's kind of that. She
annoying to fight. It was the first one that was way up high, up where all the little birdies fly. And I didn't like it. I was like, come down.
She starts in the walls by waist though.
Yeah, but she flies.
Wrathion prefers to stay on the ground.
She still flies, and even my little dual blades, I was like, come down.
She is also to me in that she is a good tutorial monster. If you're learning any weapon, it's a good monster to go against. It will teach you these sort of like because yes, okay, she does fly, but she doesn't stay airborne for long. She normally does the cartwheel with her tail to become airborne.
And that poisons you.
Yeah, so it's a lot of her moves are clearly telegraphed. So it's for me in that I would put her probably there actually. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is Zasiyaku, the photography raptor. First monster of the Coral Highlands. Obviously bears similarities to Kuliyaku, but I think...
No, I'm going to put this under C for cute.
Okay, ahead of Jackrass and Puke, or...?
I'm going to put him... I would put him ahead of Puke, but behind Jackrass. So, because you've overwritten me... Oh my goodness.
Hang on, where do I put him then?
Well, no, because I think Jackrass is cooler than both of them. Yeah, you're the one with the pointer. You're the one with the pointer.
You're the one with the pointer.
You're the one who owns the video. I guess you can pick.
I mean, yeah, no, I can see that. I think it's better. It's a better fight than Kuliyaku, and that's the flash photography aspect of it being its main gimmick.
He's purple.
Also, he's purple. Yeah, that purple design also gets you a instant.
Oh, no, he doesn't feel as dumb as Kuliyaku.
No.
He's the same skeleton, but he's not dumb. He's smart. He'll flash you so you can't see, and then he jumps at you and claws your brains out.
He normally runs away.
Hey! Don't be mean to my boy.
Okay, let's move on to the next monster, which is Paulum.
Paulum is...
the floating cotton ball rat looking monster.
I'm going to go C for cute, but all the way ahead of the pack.
Yeah. I think Paulum was the first example of a monster that kind of used wind against the hunters. In
all I remember
anyway.
is cotton ball.
Yeah, that was kind of cute in that. The fact that it was a floating cotton ball comes around and this angry rat face on it. But no, I don't think he's anything too special, but at the same time, its cotton ball design is actually quite...
I think, yeah, it's literally just cute.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Great Gyrotodos.
Oh, for awesome.
Oh, you're going to stick him up there, are you?
I like him.
Great Gyrotodos is...
He's so underrated.
He is underrated.
He is underrated. He has such a cool design.
Yep.
Simple yet elegant, and the classic snake kind of monster. But he has such an origin story, such a background story. He came from a mountain range far, far away. He slithered down. He has his own gang.
He lives in his gang in the hood of the Rotten Vale.
Yeah. All his little minions.
Yeah.
And he calls for help. And one of his minions are in trouble.
He's also the paralysis can catch hunters out.
Oh yeah. And he does a cute roly-polie.
That's kind of goofy. Yeah, that's probably his goofiest move. But
I mean, being completely honest, I would probably stick him in B.
We're sticking him in A because of his design.
I do like that. The one when the armor came out, obviously, in that early game, you didn't need his armor set for much.
No.
Which was such a shame, because I really liked how that looked.
Yeah, I mean, it was alleviated once they released the layered armors, but at the time...
Yeah, but when they released the layered armors, there was so much other stuff that was so much more elaborate.
Yeah,
and
true.
It never got picked, and it just got so overlooked.
Yeah.
And that's why we're sticking him in A.
Yeah. Anyway, next, the Roly-Polie Radoban.
Radoban. Oof.
I don't mind Radoban.
I think B for...
I would say B. I think he's better than Baroth.
Yeah.
He's one of the only monsters to use sleep. The whole rolling thing and that, I think it's weird because he shares many similarities to Uragaan, but he doesn't feel as annoying as that monster. But we'll talk about Uragaan when we get to him. So for me in that, I kind of like Radoban. I like the fact that he can knock the bones off of him and then...
I really liked his design, I must confess.
The fact that his body's covered in tie, rolls around in the bones to create this sort of like spiky armor on it. Yeah, it's actually a really cool design.
He is actually a little bit like a hedgehog, but with like he wants to be a hedgehog, so he sticks the spikes on himself.
Yeah.
But he's like a graveyard Pokemon.
Yeah.
Hangs out with wherever all the bones are.
Okay, next up, I've got to say it's one of my personal favourites, a Doggeron.
Doggeron goes into... I went to A. In front of all of them.
A, okay, fair enough. I might have even put him in S in that, but I can go with top of the pack in A.
No, I don't know. He's not his fight is not challenging enough for us. I can understand that. He becomes the Jackrass of his tier, a little, or the Jackrass of the tier above, if you get what I mean. You get to a certain point in the game, and Doggeron is not super challenging, but still a fun fight. It's just so middle of the tree.
Yeah. No, I
even when you like it.
It feels, going against the Doggeron feels like a standard fair fight. The only gimmick he has is really the bleed factor, which, to be honest, isn't...
You're not in doubt that you're going to win, though.
No. It's...
You know you're going to get him.
Yeah. I'd like how fast-flowing the fight feels when going against the Doggeron.
I think that's the biggest thing about him, is that the fight is so engaging. You have to be on your toes for all of it.
Yeah. He's not standing back and spraying you with elemental nonsense.
No, he's constantly pouncing.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the next monster, which is Legiana. I know some people really like this monster. I kind of agree. I think it is a good designed flying wyvern.
I like the design. The fight is a little bit annoying. I'm going to say the screeching just kind of gets to me. B behind Baroth.
Really?
Yeah, quite low for me. I was never the biggest fan.
Huh, I never found Legiana difficult, to be honest.
Just a screeching.
Screeching.
Screech.
It doesn't screech that often.
Calm down, girl. I'll kill you in a minute.
I would bump it up to probably there. Out of this, I might have even put him in low A, but...
Well, he can overtake Gyros if you really, really want. Because Gyros is kind of just honorary A.
Yeah. Now, Legiana is another good example in that of a... It does have some elemental nonsense with it, with the ice stuff, but it's not too overpowering. It's, apart from the ice stuff, it is kind of like a standard flying wyvern fight. Which brings us on to probably the quintessential flying wyvern fight, Rafalos, the flagship. A.
For annoying.
A for annoying. But where on A? I think he's...
in front of Legiana at least.
Yeah, before or after a Doggeron though?
After.
No, Rafalos is to me is a good hunt.
It's a good hunt.
It is a little bit annoying how airborne he stays, especially when compared to the likes of his wife, Wrathion. But it's not as bad as, say, Azure Raffles, which stays airborne a lot longer, or Silver Rafalos. But no, he's a flagship, so he's kind of iconic. So he's going to be...
I don't know, but 3 versions of him in the game. I'm just kind of over it by now.
That is...
I'm sorry, I am.
Yeah. You're going to upset a lot of people by dissing the flagship.
No, I like him. I'm a little bit done with it now, you know?
I mean, when the game first came out...
I want a baby one.
A baby Rafalos?
Yeah.
There is a baby... Monster Hunter Stories. There you go.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's the only version I will accept at this point.
Okay.
Oh, or a death one. Made all of bones and stuff.
I'm trying to think of the other variants and subspecies of it. I don't know if there is one like that.
Oh, they should make one.
Anyway, moving on to Diablos.
I'm a little bit tempted to stick him under D for dumb.
Really? All the way down there?
Oh, because he's dumb.
He's the monster that taught me how to use the lance.
He is the monster that made me rage quit for the first time, probably. I don't know. He's not cute.
No. He's more badass than cute.
Yeah, probably badass then, but behind Behemoth.
Okay. No, I could put him there. I can understand. I do. There were some people on our friends list who kind of hit a little bit of a roadblock with Diablos.
He was a what did they call him? A skill check.
Yeah, that could be a good way to put it.
It was the game saying, "Are you sure that you know what you're doing?"
Yeah.
Most of us went like, actually, give me a sec.
Yeah, the veterans and that are like, breezing past it, and everyone who jumped in that world were like, hang on.
2 seconds, just let me.
Let me get the hang of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Let me make sure my gear is all right.
For me, in that he shares similarities to Wrathion in terms of he is a tutorial monster. Teaches you how to play the game. But anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is Pink Wrathion.
I would just, stick him right up with the other one.
Yeah.
When I was judging the Wrathions, I was kind of doing all of them.
Yeah.
Green, pink, silver.
Pink isn't too much different to normal Wrathion, in all honesty. I mean, Azure Raffles, which we'll talk about in a minute, it does have severe different aspects to its base form, but with Pink and normal Wrathions, they are very similar. Pink just hits a lot harder in that. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is Azure Raffles, which we just mentioned.
I have no opinion on this.
I have no opinion on.
My opinion is exactly the same as the base.
Okay. Well, I was going to say my opinion of him is a lot lower.
I mean, I think he looks cool.
Oh yeah, the design of Azure is definitely.
Sorry, cool, the color palette, because that's the only thing that's changed design-wise.
Design-wise, yeah. Moves. Its biggest thing is it stays airborne a lot longer, which makes it more frustrating to fight unless you're using ranged weapons. So, not much to say about that because it is pretty much very similar to normal Rafalos. It just stays in the air a little bit longer, which puts him down a rank for me. So, let's bring on to Diablos' wife, Black Diablos.
Just right in front of him. There. Boop.
Boop. So much more aggressive. So
B
much
for
more,
black.
So much more aggressive than normal Diablos.
Yeah.
It's kind of you've done the basic tutorial. Is the next one.
You actually get the Black Diablos. You get quite a bit later.
Yeah.
Quite a bit later.
It's also introduced to the game very unceremoniously.
Yeah.
You just kind of stumble across it.
Yeah, you get to what you think. Well, in the base game, you get to what I think is the end, and you're like, oh well, I'm sure they're going to release something new soon because I've done everything I can in this game now. What the heck is that? What's that? Oh crap! I'm dead. And that's the end of that.
Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is another personal favourite, which is Dodogama. We're moving to the Elder's Recess. First monster you counter in the Elder's Recess, who's making friends with some rocks.
You encounter. Sorry. Do you want to do the honors?
What?
Do you want to do the honors? We both know where it's going to go.
Okay, moving on. No. To be honest, in that, even though this is personal bias, putting in here and that and overwriting everyone, Dodogama is basically an evolution of the Jackrass fight. You go Jackrass, Gyros, and then it's kind of Dodogama.
Under S for super adorable.
Yeah.
There you go. job done. He snuggles with the rocks.
Because he doesn't have any friends.
He snoozes with the rocks because they're comfy to him. They're his friends.
And they don't make fun of him.
And when he gets mad, he chews up the rocks and then he spits them at you. And he's like, go away.
He also tends to... A lot of these monsters in that, when they encounter each other, some of them have different personalities in that. And I like Dodogama will pick a fight with monsters so much bigger and meaner than him. You know, if he stumbles across, say, Uragaan in the Elder's Recess, he'll start throwing rocks at it just to...
Yeah, go away. Go away. You make too much noise.
Speaking of Uragaan, where are you going to put the Jay Leno of monsters?
On the D for beep.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Uragaan is one of my least favourite monsters to fight. I don't know what it is about the monster, but I find it very tedious. It's not difficult. It's not difficult, but it's
just tedious.
Yeah, tedious and annoying to fight.
He looks a bit like Goey Poop, and he's tedious. The only thing that I like, I prefer with Uragaan. With Radoban. Do you know when Radoban kind of stops and he really glares at you and then he smashes his big chin down?
Mm-hmm.
That's my favourite move that those two do. But with Uragaan, with Radoban, he gives off like a cool guy vibe, like, how dare you, smash. But Uragaan is just like, there's no character to him. He's just angry.
Yeah. I mean, Uragaan is a old school monster. He's been in a lot of games, so maybe they didn't, his designers kind of stuck to what they originally... I don't know. I part of me thinks he rolls about too much. And unlike with Radoban, you can interrupt it a lot more easier than you can with Uragaan, by throwing rocks and shit. But anyway, let's stick with the Elder's Recess and move on to the next monster, which is Lavasioth. I know where I'm going to put this monster.
Then go for it.
Lavasioth is annoying unless you're using weapons that can ignore sort of tough hides. So you either have to have builds that use the Mind's Eye skill, or use weapons sort of like the Charge Blade that has a charged up sword, or the Switch Axe when it's in sword form, things like that. But anyway, Lavasioth is kind of lower the pack to me in that. To be honest, there was a quest made about him because he was the most least hunted monster in the game. So people definitely don't enjoy fighting it.
No, it's tedious, and I think it goes on. He has a bit too much health.
Yeah, especially when you compare it to the other fish in the game as well.
Yeah, and by making his skin so much harder and bouncing off, and the sharpness, and it's just annoying.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to one of the most meme and iconic monsters of World. Everyone's favourite Basiljuice.
I want to say A.
You want to say A? No, I can agree with A.
Front of the pack. I think he's wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy. He's an actual challenge, but not insurmountable.
Mm-hmm.
The tempered version is easier than the normal version. I think so.
You think so?
I think so. And he looks cooler.
Because of the sheen, right?
Yeah.
No, I agree on that. I definitely think he's A in that. I don't know whereabouts in A I would personally put him.
Just put the next icon up. Put the icon up.
The icon?
That icon.
That's Steven Basiljuice.
Yeah, that's what I meant. He's better.
You want? Oh, we're moving on to Steven. We're moving on to Iceborne straight away.
No, just put him there because I want to compare and contrast.
Oh, okay.
Look at it. Look at this. That's normal, and he's alright. He's like, and then you get the Steven, and you're like, whoa, man, slow down.
Also, the Steven has that nuke move.
Oh, it's amazing.
I will say this though about the Basiljuices. Normal is more difficult to fight than Steven. Steven is a lot easier. If you remember back in...
You just said normal was a lot easier to fight.
No,
Steven is a lot...
Steven is a lot easier...
Start over. I'm being dumb.
Steven Basiljuice is a lot easier to fight than normal Basiljuice.
That's what I said, but you argued with me. No, I said tempered was easier.
Yeah.
Well... Yes, okay. Normal tempered seething. Why do they have to have so many versions? Alright, I'm slightly confused, but you Seething is better than both. Any.
I would.
All.
I'm okay to leave them in A tier in that, to be honest. Than that, like I said though, normal, more difficult. If you remember back when you had to fight the double tempered normal basil juices before you could unlock your hunter rank.
It hasn't. It has been over 8 months since I last played this game. I do apologise if I get a little bit confused or stumble over some things. It's been a while.
Yeah, but no, you guys in that will remember as well the gatekeeping, the double tempered basil juices kind of roadblocked hunters when they were leveling up their hunter rank. Yeah, that was a challenge. Definitely more so than anything Seething Basil Juice has done. It's just the same that Seething Basil Juice, on the other hand, is in terms of the design of the monster, is more interesting than normal Basil Juice. Doesn't dive bomb as much though.
Thank goodness for that.
Anyway, next up, one of the OGs is Kieran.
D for dumb, but kind of cute, so I'm going to stick him in C.
I'm going to put him at the back of the pack in C. The reason being is because I personally don't find him fun to fight.
He's not the worst, and he's kind of sparkly, I guess.
His design is definitely better than how he fights.
It is a horse. Let's just get that thing straight. It's a horse. It's a unicorn. Boop-de-doo. But he is kind of blue and sparkly, so... Nah. He does a prancing jump.
He prances around and...
Can't be mad at the prances. The armour that you get off of him is
You've got to get those assless chaps on.
Oh, yeah. That has brought me many, many smiles. So.
Yeah. Nah, but... Next.
Oh,
you're excited to get to the next one.
Okay, excited.
Kieran, C. Anyway, next up is Val Hasak.
S for super awesome.
All the way at S, eh?
Super awesome he is. The design is so wicked.
Yeah, I agree.
The soundtrack, the fight music is so wicked.
I agree.
His design is so cool.
I think when it comes to fighting the monster in terms of his moves, he's not the most outlandish. And to be honest, when you're fighting against him, his moves are completely nerfed when you start using the skill, the effluvial resistance.
Yeah, but when you first start, when you do him for the first couple of times, you needed help, sort of thing. Like, I remember the first time me and you managed to do him in under 15 minutes. Because this was before you either had solo or 4-player. That's how they were scaled. No?
No.
Okay.
No. The base game had solo or 4-player. That was it.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so we were playing it in multiplayer, 2-player doing the 4-player.
We were doing the 4-player as 2 people, and the first time we did him in under 15 minutes, and one of those 15-minute songs. We were like, oh my goodness, we did it! Wow.
He's definitely a cool monster in that. The design definitely trumps his moveset, but his design is so awesome. Definitely inspired by things like Aliens and other horror films and that. It's definitely, I would stick him in S. Okay, next up, Teostra, another original.
A in front of Rathalos.
But behind a Dogoron?
Yeah, I'm a little bit torn about that.
For me, personally, Teostra was one of my first roadblocks in the world. I don't know why I struggled so hard with it to start off with. I find him fun to fight now, but at the start I hit a little bit of a block with him.
Yeah, well, he was a bit of a challenge, but he's so cool. He's a flame line. I really love him.
Yeah, he's a fun monster to fight now anyway. So anyway, let's move up to probably a mirror opposite.
Oh, D for dreary.
Kuchara de Aura. I would still put him ahead of these.
But she's dull looking, she's a dull fight, she spins, there's flaps, what to do?
She doesn't spin.
She does when she takes off and she creates a tornado.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Take that back then. Yeah.
She does a twirl. It's like a twirl.
Yeah, where
up into the air.
Yeah, wings flare out and then she twirls and goes up and then and
that's how, yeah, and then the whirlwind.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Its use of the wind effects is so annoying, namely the fact that it covers its body in the wind, and so melee users can't get close to it without being blown away unless they're using wind resistance or their rock steady mantles. That is the main annoyance.
it was never worth it to take wind resistance at that point in the game.
Yeah.
It was never worth it.
Yeah, unfortunately. And thus it made the fight annoying, so...
I think that is the only gold crown that I'm missing for the platinum. And I can't be bothered to go back. I can't.
But anyway, let's move on to the next elder, which is Lunostra, Teostra's wife.
She is pretty, but I would stick her in B.
Whereabouts in B?
Let's go second front.
Second behind Toby.
Yeah, well, no one can beat Toby in his category.
I would agree that. I think the design of her is definitely better than how she fights. She is annoying to fight, combining both fire and wind. It makes it frustrating. Also, she has that ultimate ability, which took a little while to learn. To get a hang of. Okay, that brings us on to the next monster, which is Azura Magdaros.
I am so sorry. I do not like scripted fights at all. I'm gonna put her in. Is it her?
I don't think it's actually ever
have a gender. It's just old. I'm gonna put it in D.
D. Okay. Whereabouts in D?
I still think that they put a lot of effort into the fight.
Yeah.
But it didn't. I don't think it came out the way they wanted it to.
No, I agree. It's fun the first 2 times maybe, but after that it's a chore.
Yeah, it is.
It takes too long.
It does, and to me, I don't know. It was kind of confusing to me the first time I did it. It wasn't very intuitive.
You could get lost on his backside, for lack of a better word, quite easily when you're climbing up his mountainous regions. I
didn't feel like he had a lot of personality either.
It was
which I get, because he was kind of like a walking mountain, and how much personality does a rock really have? But yeah, it's a little bit lacking for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's bring on to the flagship, Nergigante.
Straight to the top, right in the middle.
Oh, ahead of Dodogama.
Oh, I would put Dodogama first.
You reckon?
Yeah. No,
I put Nergigante before Dodogama. No, Nergigante.
resisting.
Dodogama. No, Nergigante. Sorry, is probably up there, joint favourite.
The music is great. The music is great.
Music is great. His fight is, I would say, it bears similarities in a way to a Dogoron in that it's fast and hectic, and there's no kind of elemental nonsense to deal with.
I feel like even in the later games, even in late games, if you don't pay attention, he can still kill you very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Especially his tempered or arch-tempered forms.
The arch-tempered is definitely a challenge still.
Yeah.
Well, at least it was when I stopped playing.
Also, his design is awesome, and his attitude is awesome. The fact that he eats other elder dragons.
Yeah, that is badass. I do not think that there's a lot of design changes between his variants. Or his
Ruiner. Well, we'll talk about Ruiner a bit later. But no. In terms of the tempered forms, only Arch-Tempered really got any new moves. Okay, let's move on to the next monster, which is the final fight of Monster Hunter World, base version, which is Xeno Jiva. Where would you put Xeno Jiva?
See, I'm a little bit torn, because I think the design, the look, the visuals on this monster is amazing.
Yep.
But the fight was way too long. It was way too long, and it was a little bit boring.
The fight was a little bit tedious. I agree. I think its design is better than its actual...
The soundtrack wasn't suited. The battle theme, I think they're called.
You could call them battle themes, I think.
Yeah, it was a little bit underwhelming. So yeah, B is probably alright, because she was quite badass.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was a little bit of a roadblock as well for some people, and that I did struggle with her first time I came across her. Not the best fight suit for the Switch Axe at the time, but once you get down her moveset, it's not too bad in that. I personally didn't like that you only fought really in one arena, although you could go from top to bottom. You weren't moving around a sprawling landscape like you were with the vast majority of the other monsters in the game.
It was pretty though, but there was that frustration that if you didn't get all the boulders or spikes or crystals, whatever you want to call them,
at the bottom,
to fall on her head at the very start.
Yeah.
You just knew that you were going to be there for forever.
Yes.
And it was just like a sinking feeling of, oh goodness, no.
At the time, it was like, oh, a boulder took off 5 minutes from the hunt.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, let's move on to the first DLC monster, which is Deviljho, one of the returning original monsters, I believe.
P for pickle.
There is not a P for pickle monster.
Pickle Joe.
No. Oh dear. But actually, that does go.
I think B, because he is badass.
Yeah, no, I would put him in B. I thought he was...
He's not as cool, though, as Toby, so, you know, you can't go ahead of them. I would put him maybe, yeah. There.
I enjoy fighting the Wrathions better than Deviljho.
And he does look like a pickled crocodile.
Yeah. As we did with Deceiving Basil Juice and Normal Basil Juice, I'm going to bring up Savage Deviljho here and that because, to be honest, I prefer fighting Savage Deviljho to Normal Deviljho. I also think Savage is more badass looking, given the flames constantly spewing from it and stuff like that.
Yeah. He does feel a lot more menacing, and Deviljho is pretty menacing to begin with.
Yeah, I also understand why people do struggle against him as well.
Definitely.
But yeah, middle of the road for me. Okay, next up, it's called Turoff.
Ooh, I see. This is where I'm going to start to branch out a little, because I'm going to say that she is pretty far back on B.
Oh, you put her all the way on B?
I would, but I would put the Fancy Pants version in A.
Fancy Pants version?
Doesn't she have a tempered?
Yeah, she has Arch Tempered and...
The Arch Tempered I would put in A, because that's a much more challenging and interesting fight.
I, personally, we're going to have to compromise and stick her in B, because I would have put her in C. Simply because, whilst her design
you had to farm her way more than I did. You had to farm her for all the weapons, so you had to farm her 14 times the amount normal people probably would.
And then there was the different elements for each weapon. And this all being behind a siege event, which means that it takes normally more than one attempt.
I can see why you would put her lower.
So the design of her is fine. Things became a little bit more easier with the Master Rank event quest that allowed you to do it in one run, but nonetheless, how things were executed with her is put her low for me.
Fair enough.
Okay, next up is the Legiana from The Witcher. This is the Witcher story quest, so you can only do this single player.
I am not even.
Yeah, this is the one where you could play as you had to play as Geralt, and that was only single player.
But we went back with the team.
Yeah, that was for Ancient Legiana.
Oh, well, this wouldn't be then an Ancient A.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm going to put the standard one up behind Ancient.
Okay,
right?
fair enough.
And I'm going to put them both probably just ahead of Teostra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think the...
Maybe even... No, I'm going to keep them there. Just because they were so awesome.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with your...
They were an event to remember.
Very unique monster. There's nothing else like it kind of thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bit annoying to fight solo, but definitely a challenge, especially for the end of base version of Monster Hunter.
But it was a challenge. You needed actual tactics. You couldn't just barge in.
Yeah, it was one of the harder fights in World.
But it was a very good crossover. It did fit into the World universe as a monster. So I quite enjoyed that. Okay,
anyway, let's move on to the next crossover event, which is Behemoth, including Extreme Behemoth.
Extreme Behemoth has to...
Extreme Behemoth in the ass.
He has to... I kind of want to put him into S for just super challenging.
Yeah, I was going to say, its design I think is a little bit dull, but in terms of the fact that it taught hunting parties to use tactics...
It was, you had to practice, you had to get it right. Mm-hmm. And even to this day, when you play your intro on the stream, and you have that one clip of Behemoth turning around with...
Dodogama in his mouth.
Yeah, it still gives me goosebumps. And you just can't beat that.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think we are done with the base version of Monster Hunter World. Let's move on to Iceborne by Savage Deviljho and Steven Bazarus. So, first of all, the Bambaro World Tour. Some people hate Bambaro.
I'm one of them.
Really? I love Bambaro. Have you not seen the animation for him?
Yeah, I think I have.
But I don't understand. Yes, he's like Baroth, but on steroids.
He is a bit of a sponge. He just keeps taking it and taking it and taking it, and yeah, of course that can be satisfying if you need to work out some frustrations. But some of us just kind of want to move on a bit. We want to get on with our day, and he's everywhere.
That's why it's called the Bambaro World Tour. Because he's just. For me, I had a lot of fun fighting the monster in that. I believe he's an upgraded version of, say, the ball kind of monster. Well, he looks like a flaming ball, where it just charging you constantly.
Oh yeah, I would probably agree with that placement.
I would say he becomes more difficult depending on where you're fighting him. Like if you're fighting him in the ancient forest, when he picks up a tree, it becomes a lot more difficult than, say, if you're fighting him in the Wildspire Waste and he simply picks up a boulder.
Oh, let's do the next one.
Oh, straight away, okay.
Yeah, sorry, but this is the only fish that I would place under C for cool.
Oh, Gyrotodos. No, I agree.
Because he's cool, because he's cold. Get it?
Ah, yeah, he's
cool.
Chill.
Yeah, he's proper chill.
No, I actually really enjoy fighting Gyrotodos. He's the best.
The armor is good for so long. The second you enter Iceborne, you kill that fish and you wear his scales. Probably till the end of times, really.
It can go quite a while. If you don't like mixing and matching, the Gyrotodos armor is a very good set of armor. Earplugs and a lot of health. I think health boost and a few of their useful skills.
You're gonna be in that area for a while, and his armor is it's gonna see you through all of it.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's
tasty.
Tasty?
Yeah, sushi.
But no, in terms of fighting and that, he's not as annoying or boring as Gyrotodos, and he's not as annoying to fight as Lavasiov, so he kind of fits nicely.
It was the only fish one they got right.
Yeah.
So we say fish, but it's
Piscine or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or Piscine. Anyway, next up is Brachios.
Oh, Brachios is a badass. Oof, he takes Toby's crown, I would say.
What? High B?
High B.
Oh, wow, okay.
Oh, no, because that would put him way over Volcana. Is that her name? No. Oh my goodness, I forgot her name.
Legiana. There's a lot of monsters.
There are. It's been a while. Yeah, no, that's probably a good place for him.
Brachios is a fun fight. The design of the monster as well, the cat-like saber-toothed tiger, definitely resonates. Looks cool.
He is.
He's got cool personality as well.
He's awesome.
The fact that he keeps charging about in that, and I like the physics that work around him. Like when you wound his legs, when he charges at you, he'll slip and fall over a bit. But no, definitely, I would agree he's in the A tier for me. Anyway, let's move on to Toby's cousin, Viper Toby Galachi.
I would put him behind Radoban.
Oh, you didn't like him as much as normal?
No, I think he was, I don't know, he was copy-paste, change element.
Well, I wouldn't say he was as copy, because he was one of the unique monsters that could use two elements. It had poison on its tail and paralysis in its teeth.
Yeah, but he never hit you because you knew his move so well.
He may not hit you. He hit me a lot. I found him harder to fight than normal Toby.
He's slightly faster, which throws a lot of people off.
Yeah.
If you change the pace of the moves, you can throw a lot of people off. Not me though, because I'm cool. I'm joking. No, I didn't have any problems with his choreographed moves.
Yeah.
So he never... No.
Yeah, no.
He wasn't really a challenge. I thought Toby had a lot though.
Yes, yeah.
A lot.
I remember you farming the base version a lot with trying to get the armor. But
and the bow.
Yeah.
Like I used a lot of Toby weapons.
Yeah. I would also say the normal Toby Kadachi colouring is a lot better than the brown design of the Viper Toby Kadachi.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But anyway, let's move on to Nightshade Palumi.
It's cute.
One of the monsters that really does utilise the sleep element.
It's cute.
It's cute.
Yeah.
next to normal Paulum. I think it's better designed than normal Paulum.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it looks like what moths do.
Yeah.
To make themselves look Gotta make myself look big.
Now, I agree with that, but I still would stick it in C.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, Ebony or Dogoron?
Ooh, I would probably do the same, sticking right in front of base version.
Yeah. Okay. Personally, I'd put him behind base version. The fact that I don't know. Actually, it's hard. He isn't more annoying because he does put Dragon Blight on you, which nullifies your element or elements.
But at that point in the game, that's kind of the game you're playing.
Yeah, true. By the time you get to Ebony, you should have, kind of adapted.
You should be managing that.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay, no, I would put him there. He's just faster, stronger, and uses the dragon element a lot more than. Well, he has an element. The other one doesn't. So, oh well, more of a challenge, but still a cool design. Also, that black with the red fire.
It is cool.
Yeah.
It is very cool.
Okay, next up is Coral Puke, the water version. No poison this time. It's just going to splash you.
I'm going to put this next to Puke, but behind.
You prefer the normal poison one?
I do, because the coral one was a disappointment. It was. I'm sorry, but it was. There was nothing new that it brought into it except for a different palette.
Well, the whole water attacks he does.
Yeah, just because you change the element of the blob he spits at you.
No, you don't. It does the fire hose moves and all that.
Yeah.
They actually caught me unaware a few times and one-shot me.
Yeah, they one-shot me too. Now that you say it.
It's like you go up to him and he's got his head in the water things in the Coral Highlands. And then you're like, okay, it's just Puke. You got to punch him a little bit. And then this fire hose comes out with butt. And it didn't one-shot you.
Yeah, no, I'm going to stick with what I've got though.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I kept doing that.
Inconvenient.
Okay, let's move on to the next monster, which is Shrieking Leguana.
Yeah, she shrieks a bit more than the other ones.
yeah. I found her more annoying to fight than the base version of Legiana, but that's probably because it uses the elements a lot more.
Yeah, it was a bigger challenge. It was. I think I wiped her a couple of times.
Yeah. Although I will say the design of Shrieking is better than the...
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason Normal's ahead is because I enjoy fighting Normal more than Shrieking.
Shrieking does look a lot better, yeah.
Okay, Volgo Anjanath.
I'm going to do a slightly behind again.
Really? Prefer? Well, actually, no.
I'm gonna stand by that.
I think the normal Anjanath is more iconic.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. I think Volgo Anjanath being bumped up to a tier sort of 2 monster for Master Rank was an upgrade. And
I didn't mind seeing him again for Iceborne.
I agree, yeah.
But he was a little bit too annoying.
He did have a few moves that, much like Coral Puke, could catch you unaware and one-shot you, especially when he started powering up.
I think I was a little bit shocked about how unprepared I was for Iceborne. It was harder than I thought it was going to be, because I felt like they copy and pasted a lot.
Yeah.
But then they did pack a punch.
Yeah.
I'm all confused on the inside. It's just Anjanath. Why does it hurt so much? Oh my goodness, I'm bleeding so much.
Anyway, let's move on to the next brute wyvern, which is Gloviness.
Ooh. Gloviness, I'm going to put behind Basil Juice.
Come on, in you get. There you go.
In you get.
No, I would agree. Gloviness goes in A. Fun fight. The whole tail aspect and the fact that its weak point changes is actually quite...
I'm going to put him in front of Basil Juice.
I know, I would agree. Also, he has one of the most badass theme tunes in the...
I'm going to put him in S now. Yeah, no, I really enjoy Gloviness. I think it's one of the best fights.
Yeah.
In Iceborne. The music is amazing. His moves are amazing.
Yeah.
The other one is also amazing.
Acidic Gloviness.
Yeah.
I would put Acidic behind normal Gloviness,
you and me disagree on that one.
You would put Acidic ahead?
Mm-hmm.
But I thought the colour design on normal Gloviness was better than the green.
I enjoy the fight more, though.
I'm going to agree to disagree there, because I didn't like the defense down annoyed me.
Alright. Rolling my eyes super high, but alright.
Okay, next up is Brachios Slime Boy.
I am remembering it. Having it.
I don't think you fought him that much, if I remember correctly.
I didn't enjoy him a lot, I must confess. I thought, no, B.
B? Okay. No,
I don't even really care whereabouts in B. At the end, somewhere.
I would put him a little bit. I'd put him probably about there for me personally. Brachios, a lot of people do like the monster, and I can kind of appreciate, because he was a flagship monster. But when compared to some of the other monsters in this game, and that, I didn't find him as fun. Also,
a little bit creepy with his stubby hands.
Yeah. Also, the blast blight I found a little bit annoying. Yes, you could get rid of it quite easy, but
so what you're saying is you're finding all debuffs annoying.
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does a bit.
It does, doesn't it? Well, let's move on to a debuffing Elder Dragon. Namiel. S. Whereabouts in S?
There.
Okay. Very cool design.
Yeah, this is purely visuals. Well, music. Music is good. But one thing that I did really like about that fight is the sponge pods thing. And you could soak up the water on the ground.
Yeah. So
that she couldn't electrocute you.
It was one of the first sort of uses of the bright moss to, like you said, suck up the ponds she leaves behind, the puddles. So yeah, no, I agree. She could go in S. I might have put her in high A, but no, low S is acceptable.
Low S is acceptable.
Anyway, let's move on to the next monster, which is Naga Cougar.
Naga Cougar for me was a little bit of a disappointment.
Really?
I wanted to fight him in the dark.
I can understand that. For those of you not aware, Naga Cougar featured in other games, and that sometimes you would fight it in the dark, and its glowing eyes would sort of pinpoint where it is.
Even in the trailer, he had the glowy eyes in the dark, and I was hoping that was a tease for that they were going to bring in nighttime, daytime fight mechanics.
Yeah. I mean, there is a nighttime to daytime, but not in terms of fighting.
It doesn't change the fight mechanics.
Yeah.
It doesn't change any of the fights. And I really hoped that it was going to bring a new level to Monster Hunter, to the gameplay, that you had to manage your light, you had to get torches, you had to use bright moss to light up the caves. Because originally when they were making Monster Hunter World, the caves in, say, Ancient Forest
were pitch black.
They were pitch black, yeah. You needed the bright moss to light them up, or else you couldn't see.
Yeah, they kind of... I don't know why they backed away from that aspect.
I remember there was an interview and they did say, I think what they went with is that it proved too challenging for most players to manage.
Maybe.
People found it too annoying, and I was really disappointed.
No, I can understand that, but nonetheless though, I still find the fun. The fight.
Very fun fight still, and he is super badass.
I'm gonna stick him there behind Barioth, because I still prefer Barioth.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Next up is Yangaruga, the monster that actually beat up Really? Dumb. You don't like Yangaruga?
Dumb.
I'm going to overwrite you a little bit and put him up at least one tier.
Not in front of Tsitsi. In front of Karen, maybe.
Okay.
Scarred is a little bit cooler than Tsitsi, maybe. I would put maybe Scarred in front of C, maybe in B. Yeah.
Well, they're pretty much the same, except Scarred uses...
Scarred has a scar, so he's cooler.
No, he uses different moves. He's got a...
and he's Scarred.
He's Scarred?
He has a scar over his eye.
Yeah, he's also missing an ear.
Yeah, so he's a Scarred Yangaruga. Oh my goodness. That's why they called him a Scarred Yangaruga, because he's a Scarred.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we arguing about it?
I don't know. I don't know what you get at.
He's cooler because he has scars.
Oh, so that Oh, just because he has scars, that ups him to the next tier. Anyway.
I mean it.
Oh, okay. No, but I understand Yangaruga can be frustrating to fight at times, especially if you don't like using earplugs and things like that. He's a flipping shouty boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, no, I can understand why some people do like fighting him and that, but for me and you, he's probably around the BC tier.
I mean, I put the Scarred one up because I'm a little bit torn. I would put Yangaruga sort of like BC, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you could move them both up to B.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, everyone's favourite monkey boy.
Diva dump.
See, is it?
Diva dump, so dumb. Oh my god, so dumb. It's a monkey. It's an angry monkey. Diva dump. Dum 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 dum. I know that a lot of people really like him.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I think it's because they fought him before.
Yeah, no, I can understand.
As a Monster Hunter noob, new to world, the scum of the universe. I think he's dumb.
I can understand where you're coming from in that.
It's a King Kong kind of feel to it, and I don't know. I don't think it's very original.
I think he also resonates with a lot of people because he bears influences from the likes of Dragon Ball, with the whole Super Saiyan going yellow fur kind of thing, which endear him to a lot of people. The fact that he's also his personality in regards to how he treats monsters also.
He's mean. He's a bully.
I think he's got the most turf wars in the game.
Well, yeah, because he's mean. Doesn't he eat Kirin horns?
Yeah, that's what allows him to power up.
Disgusting.
See, for me in that, he would be B or A. But I'm going to go middle ground and put him B because you want him in D.
Oh, you're dumb.
Anyway, let's move on to one of Ruiner Nergigante, now ahead or behind normal.
Oh, I don't know. He looks cooler, but he fights hard. No, ahead.
Yeah, okay.
But only just.
Only just. To be honest in that, if we could put them on the same, I would put them on the same level.
Yeah.
I think he like you just said, I think he looks cooler.
Yeah.
But I think the base version is a more enjoyable fight.
I think that as you scale a bit with the game, you kind of need the challenge that he presents, and you look forward to the challenge that he presents because the challenge of the base one was so enjoyable.
Yeah.
So it's going to be rough, but you're also looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really nice. That's good monster design.
Yeah.
From a developer standpoint, that's good effort.
No, definitely one of our favorites. Okay, next up is Black Val Hasak. Moss Boy.
I'm gonna put him in A.
Didn't like him as much as normal Val.
No, it was exactly the same, except he was mossy.
He was easier, I think.
Yeah, and I expect a little bit more. I really liked that he was blind.
Yeah, that was a cool.
But that was the coolest thing. It was like, oh my goodness, he's blind. Blew my brains out.
Yeah. Although I don't think the blindness, it was kind of implemented in the cuts. It's sort of like implied in the cutscene. But I don't think when you actually started fighting him, it didn't.
Oh really. No, it doesn't matter. But the cutscene was, oh my god, that is badass.
Yeah. Okay, next up is I just read. There he is. Let's skip ahead to Tigrex. Tiger boy.
It's a chargy boy. Gonna put him in C4.
Chargy boy.
Yep.
No,
he was a challenge. When I remember fighting him for the first time, I'm like, oh, holy smokes.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I am just instantly dead.
I think I do agree that the charging factor of him is what made him difficult. Well, mind you, that's probably his whole sort of gimmick. Just constantly charging.
I remember you being like, oh, break his arms. He won't be such a bully then. And I'm like, I'm trying, I'm dead.
Yeah, as you may be aware, the key is to break his arms to stop the charging in that. But high C, I might have been put him in B, but high C is fine. Which brings us on to the cousin, which I personally prefer, which is Brute Tigrex.
Oh yeah, I prefer Brute.
I think the colouring is better.
Yeah.
I think the fact that It doesn't charge at much. It's more enjoyable in the fight, although the charging is replaced by the fact that it keeps yelling at you. And the yelling is so strong it actually hurts you. But it's easier to manage, and I find it more enjoyable with fighting.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, next up is Shara Ishvalda. If you remember him. Sand Boy.
I hate
the one who starts off as...
Oh, I hated him so much. I think this is my most hated one.
Really? All the way down in bottom D?
Bottom, all the way in F for F up.
I didn't think he was that bad.
I did him once after much of it. I think this is the only one that I never soloed. I tried to solo this guy, and for some reason, I tried several different weapons, and for some reason this fight didn't click for me at all. I remember trying while you were at work. All afternoon until you got home, and I'm like, please come and do this fight with me. Please.
Yeah.
And then we did it first time, and you were so smug, and I was like,
yeah, no,
I really like the point where his armor breaks.
Yeah.
And it's revealed, what he actually is. And I love his eyes, and I absolutely adore that reveal. But I cannot stand him. I've never gone back to fight him again.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'll keep him there on that statement. I might have put him at 1 tier, but he's not going to be moved around much.
The fight was way too long.
Yeah. Even with Top Gear, it's still probably going to be a good 10-minute fight unless you're speedrunning.
It didn't click for me.
Yeah. Shame. Especially when you compare it to Xeno Jiva, who was the sort of like...
The deep lore about it is actually really interesting.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I find him interesting. I just think just the fight is just a big no. And he's seriously disgusting. I mean, cool, but also disgusting.
Those eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. That brings us on to the next monster, which I don't think you fought that many times. Frostfang Barioth.
I think I did. I don't remember having strong opinions about him. I think I liked him better. He had the shards that dropped from the sky, right?
Not so much the shards from the sky, but he uses the ice element a lot more than normal Barioth. And
I remember it, and I think I enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, Frostfang, he looks amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
looks cooler than he fights, as with the other Barioth.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Zinogre.
I'm gonna put him low S or high A.
Let's put him low S. He is a fun monster in that.
He has a lot of personality.
Yeah.
His design is good looking.
His introduction was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. He's also a very big fan favourite in that. So, for a fanged wyvern as well, to be this sort of
fanged wyverns are some of my favourite ones.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's reflected in this list, actually. Is it? That's brute.
No, you got... Dodo is fanged. Zinogre is fanged. Gyros is fanged.
And Gloviness is brute. Behemoth is brute.
Behemoth is classed as Elder Dragon in this, but...
Oh, his makeup and setup is kind of brute, isn't it?
Anyway.
Flying fanged. Special.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is Gold Wrathion.
Snore.
I
mean, it was a challenging fight. But it's a fight that I've done 100,000 million times before.
Yeah, for me personally, because I've done it more, I'm going to put him in A. I found it more entertaining than normal and Pink Wrathion.
I think it was a challenge that you needed at the point where you were starting to become quite bored.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Actually, I think I might move it up actually to there as well. Now let's move on to Silver Rafalos, which, to be honest, I am not going to put in here, in A tier. I would actually move him down to B tier.
And the world is shook.
Behind Azure, because he stays in the air even longer.
How dare he?
Okay.
No, I would have put them all in low B, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, Stygian Zinogre.
Oh, up with Tintin.
Ahead or behind?
No, behind.
Behind.
No,
I like its colouring.
I do like its colouring, but no.
The dragon blight was annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is Velkhana, the flagship of Iceborne.
See, I found her too much like Kuchara to enjoy her, and she kept killing me, and I got really frustrated about it. So on that kind of hissy fit note, I'm going to put her in low B.
You would put her in low B?
I would put her in low B behind Safi.
Behind... Safi's not up yet.
Sorry, Xeno Jiva.
You would put her there?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to trump you a little bit here. I'm going to put her here.
No, take it back. No compromising?
No compromising on this. Velkhana, I feel, is an awesome design monster. Wow. Wow, I see how it is. Wow. Yes, it does have a massive learning spike, but once you get it down, I just have as much fun fighting her as I do Nogagante.
Okay then.
So that's why she's up there for me.
Fair enough.
Okay, now things are going to get a little bit rough here because you haven't experienced all of these.
No, but I have experienced the next two.
Raging Brachios.
Kind of the third. Raging Brachios, I found it to be a more fun fight than the base one.
Yep. I would put him ahead of those two as well. Yeah.
It was an oh shit moment when you fought him.
Yeah.
Things are getting really out of hand. Oh my goodness, everything's on fire or blowing up or something. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
I will say it's a shame, and he might have been higher if we could fight him in more locations.
Yeah, but I understand why they've limited him as well.
Yeah. Okay, Furious Rajang.
Oh, deep dumb. Dumb, extra dumb, super dumb. Dumber than most.
Dumber than most.
Dumber than dumb.
I don't know, Furious Rajang.
Not as dumb as Sandy Boy. Yeah. That's where I would put him. I
mean, I might put him there, but I've already had a veto, so we'll keep him there.
No, he's extra dumb.
He is.
I don't, to be honest, you can put him in the other one, but the thing is, it's just the other monkey, but angrier.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The first monkey was plenty angry, you know.
He's basically a monkey. A monkey who's always turned on. He's popped too many Viagras. He's constantly on the powered up state.
He's on steroids. It's a monkey on steroids. Angry monkey on steroids. It's a little unimaginative for me. But I don't have a prior relationship with this monkey, so.
Okay.
Now this next one, I've seen you fight a lot, and I have technically fought against her because sometimes you hand the controller over and you're like, yeah.
You also like the gambling with the awakened abilities on the weapons.
Oh no, I have done it because I remember gambling.
Yeah, you've done Safi.
Yeah, I did it with a hammer.
Yeah, it's the adult version of Xeno.
And I got a purple hammer and I gambled on it. And it was great. Yeah, no, put her in S.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though she was a siege event, it felt a lot more easier and rewarding than the Turoff siege.
The weapons had eyes on them.
Yes.
And you opened the eyes.
Yeah, when you awakened them.
And you got really cool charms and stuff to put on your weapons. Like and the flowy bits.
Her armour is also one of the best in the game still.
Yeah, very nice. I'm going to put her in front of Jellyfish. Yeah.
Okay, Elatrion. This is where your opinion.
Who's Elatrion?
Who's Elatrion? She stopped playing before Elatrion came out, so that is why.
I gambled a bit and then I hung up my my hammer.
Yeah, you came back a little bit for Raging and Furious.
Yeah, I did Raging, had a good time, did Furious, then I was Furious, so I stopped.
Yeah, so she missed out on Elatrion and Fatalis, which are the last two here. So for me, Elatrion would be an S tier, simply because the fight to start off with was rough, a huge learning curve, but once you got it down, it was all right. The moves were easily telegraphed and it forced people to use elemental weapons, which I kind of appreciated. In terms of its design, though, being the unstable element dragon, it was kind of unique, switching all the time in that but at the same time I could see it being frustrating, which would drop it down. But I'm just going to keep it at low S. Thoughts?
Alatrion's a cool name.
Yeah, although apparently it's pronounced...
Alatrion?
It was Alatrion, and then I got told off for pronouncing it that way, and I was told it was Alatrion, and anyway, whole big hubbub.
Trey.
And finally, Fatalis. Now, some people rave on about how good Fatalis is, but for me, I would put him in A.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. Really?
I enjoy fighting a Doggeron and Basiljuice more than I do Fatalis. The actual encounter with Fatalis is fine. Shade Castle looks great, but it is only a small arena. And the difficulty and learning curve is a little bit rougher than Alatrion, I would say. Which can... obviously, it is supposed to be the endgame challenge, so... It's the last monster we got. It's supposed to be the hardest thing. It's supposed to keep people fighting for a long time. But you do get a buzz once you finally do learn the monster and you finally bring it down. So it's maybe not S for me, but it's still quite high. But no, that's our tier list. Obviously, this is personal preference.
Yeah, and even we don't agree with each other.
Yeah, so, yeah. Some of these are more mischyf.
Your Volcana placement is offensive to me on
on so many levels.
Yeah, on a personal deep level. Take it off. And I'm sure that you guys have similar opinions with something on this list. I know that my opinion about Rajang is not a popular opinion.
Yeah. So
which is that's all right. If we were all the same, that would be boring.
Yeah. Variety is the spice of life, as they say.
And I would argue that in Monster Hunter there is something for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, why the hell is Dodogama in S tier?
Because we love him.
Because he's a good boy.
Yeah, he's a good boy. He likes them rocks. Look at him go.
Look at him go. Look at him go. Only beaten by Eno Gigante.
Yeah, he's winning life.
He's loving life.
He's having a good time.
But nah, like mischyf said in that, everyone's different in that, so your opinions may change. Which down in the comments below, leave what are your favourite monsters in that. Do you agree or disagree? Are there any that you would say are completely wrong or right? Leave a comment. Let us know.
We will also be leaving a link to this website in the description. Please feel free to go on and rank the monsters yourself, and you can post the results in our Discord.
Yep, which is found in the description.
Yeah.
Okay. And but before we go, a big thank you to all the support we've received over the years. 50,000 subscribers is a hell of a milestone.
You know what? I am proud of you. You've come
thank you.
A very long way with this channel.
I just hope the videos still help people. Yeah, once they stop helping, then...
Well, there's a new Mass Effect coming out.
We'll move on to make Mass Effect builds.
Yeah, also. I mean, I don't think Cyberpunk is what we hoped it would be.
No, at the time of this video, yeah, Cyberpunk just came out a week ago. Wow, has it only been that long?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it is because of you guys that, you're able to do this.
Yeah. And Monster Hunter is always going to have a place. We got Rise on the horizon, and
oh my goodness, you did not.
And we got, of course, the new Mass Effect in that. So there's plenty of stuff to cover. So hopefully the future videos will still be helpful.
I mean, are you interested in dipping back into Dragon Age at all?
It depends whatever they do with the new Dragon Age.
I know you did a little bit on the multiplayer in Inquisition.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Some people watched that.
Some people watch that.
Shockingly enough, some people watch that. But they didn't support that multiplayer very well. I think
no.
It was a bit samey.
It wasn't as well received as the Mass Effect multiplayer. But no.
Andromeda, that was about time.
Andromeda, the multiplayer was the best thing about that game.
We sunk some hours into Andromeda multiplayer. We did.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a journey.
50,000. Yeah. Here's to the next 50,000. Hopefully I can get my plaque.
I'll get you a plaque. Don't worry, I'll get you a plaque.
You'll make 50,000 accounts.
I'll print one out.
Hey, it'll be on paper.
I'll finger paint one.
Anyway, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this tier list. Hope you all have a happy holiday and all that. And hopefully the videos continue. And thanks again.